His 16-year-old son has autism, and he's made these videos on YouTube that have gone viral. We'll speak with Chad Wickert. He joins us in studio. We brought to everyone's attention this video that had gone viral, and we took a look at it, and we're like, wait, we know the person who's in the video and who made the video, and it's Chad Wickert and his then 16-year-old son, who's now 18, and basically they put together a compilation of YouTube videos just to show what it's like to have a conversation with his son who's autistic, and his son's name is Chase.
4 times 4
is 16.
Good job. 5 times 5?
25.
Good job.
Yay!
Oh my God. Can you do 6 times 6?
6 times 6 is 30. 30.
You're close. 30.
30. 30. 37.
Not close. 36.
36. 30.
And there's other, and it went out. It's really cute.
I spell through.
Yeah. THREW.
That's one way to spell it. Spell Anastasio.
ANASTASIO.
Good job.
You're a fish fan, huh?
Oh yeah,
That's where it comes.
that's where it comes
Yeah.
from.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's the greatest thrill in the world. I mean, it touches
that
me
was wonderful.
because I've got my oldest son, who has met Trey Anastasio.
No way. Oh,
He
wow.
lives in New York, and he was on the subway with him for like 15 minutes, and he was real cool about
How
the whole
exciting.
thing. And he got to talk to him, and they, you guys, you go to fish concerts,
Rabid
like,
fans.
like
Rabid
5 in a
fans.
row and camp out and all
Oh,
that.
for
So when
sure.
your son spells Anastasio,
That's the
the biggest thrill in your life, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it recently came up on a Facebook page, and somebody was saying, "Is he saying that in reference to Trey Anastasio, the leader of Fish?" And I said, "Yes." And they're all freaking out because why would you have your son spell
Sure.
that name? I said there was
'Cause
no
you're-
prep for this video. Chase was being very engaged that morning, and I said, "Let's throw out Anastasio."
So
And he
Chad
nailed
Wickert,
it.
yeah, he's joining us in studio. You just heard his voice with his son Chase. How did this all evolve? How did you start? You decided, you know what? I want to record this, and I want to show people what it's like to have a child with autism.
At that point, I had already been making YouTube videos for about 6-7 years, and I love making videos. I've been making them since I was a young child, and I thought my son was just incredible in terms of the way he was developing through therapy. He was nonverbal the first 7 years of his life, and so suddenly, when I made that video a couple of years ago, it was a morning where he was being very engaged because what did he want? He wanted to go to Anthony's house. And I said, he's trying to manipulate me here. I'm going to hit
all
record.
kids do this, so that's good. Yeah.
Because he's typically not this engaged and this verbal. And as it went on, I just kept going at it. And I said, I'll see how continue. Because he usually won't sit there on the couch with me. He usually wander off and want to do his own thing. But he wants to go to Anthony's house because he had played Nerf guns at Anthony's house like a year prior.
Uh-huh.
And then it became just quizzing him on numbers and spelling words to see what he would do. And when I hit the end of that recording, I mean, I was practically in tears because I had never documented him being that engaged. But it all came about me wanting to put something on YouTube that showed the life of a teenager with autism because there was a huge void on YouTube for that. And I would have loved to had that when Chase was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, which were the really difficult, really hard, nonverbal years. I didn't have access to that.
And when we say this went viral, I mean, that video that we just played, 800, almost 1 million views. A million.
Yeah, 1 million views, and then it got picked up by some agencies that put it on Facebook, and I partnered with one of them that made it upwards of 60 million views on YouTube.
60 million on
Facebook, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, through
Wow.
a partnership. And
So we can actually say you've gone viral.
yeah,
And now you've
certainly
made
on
other videos. I
Facebook.
watched the one where you two went to the zoo, and then where you two went to the mall, and when he realized he had his new bedroom because you had moved, and
Yeah.
he saw his new bedroom for the first time.
Yeah.
Are you working on any other?
I'm
videos, or what
constantly
do you
documenting some activities with him. The series is called This is Autism. There's 30 series on YouTube. You can search Kimock7 on YouTube, Kimock, the number 7, autism, and you'll see
KMO.
Kimock, the number 7, on YouTube. And there's 30 episodes that I produced over the last basically 2 years. And it's just him and I doing activities, showing the public the bright side of autism, that these children can develop and can develop speech, and they are social. They're extremely bright, and they're capable of many, many things, and they're very happy as well. Chase is a very, very happy teenage boy. You could go out there and find a lot of neurotypical teenage boys who are miserable.
And you're so patient with him and so good with him, and I admire you because I've watched most of these videos, and that's one thing. I mean, I've always really adored you as a friend, but you're a great father.
Thank you.
I mean, how did you become so patient? What's the key? Because I
You're
need a
always
little of
way.
that.
Yeah, me too. Because my kids,
He's
I'm
got
not patient
grandkids
with them at all.
And he's got how many grandkids?
Okay.
Well, I'm sure
6.
you're patient with your grandkids.
No, well, the grandkids, you let it run over you. You don't care.
I answer this question a lot. I do a lot of live YouTube super chats with a lot of other parents and stuff, and the question comes up a lot. And I usually answer it like this, that I was raised next to a boy that had brain damage, and I grew up with him. And it was very close to our family because it was part of a car accident that touched our family very closely. And I grew up with that experience. And then I had a best friend who was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. And this was all before Chase was diagnosed. And so that's kind of prepared me for living with people that have intellectual disabilities. And then there I am in 2001, sitting in front of several different neuropsychologists and pediatric neurologists telling me that my son has autism. And me embracing it, and his mother and I embracing it, and realizing that we have to throw ourselves into this world, that there's no time to waste. There's no time to there's a short window of opportunity there between age 2 and 7 where the brain is there could be an ability there to develop some verbal functional language. I really didn't have any time to sit around and be, not be patient. I had to jump into this world and be as proactive as possible. Chris Rock, there's like a famous quote from him where he's making fun of people that say, I take care of my son. Well, it's your son. You're supposed to. So I've always taken that attitude that, he's my son. I never have another son. I have one other child. That's a 19-year-old daughter who's I'm very high functioning, normal neurotypical person. But Chase is my only boy that I'll ever have. So I'm going to embrace him with all the love and all the support and encouragement. And the other thing I say in the live blogs too is I treat him the way I wanted to be treated when I was young. I always wanted an affectionate father and somebody that was going to be there with me. Chase doesn't live with me full time. So the time that he is with me, his mother and I are divorced and both remarried a long time ago. The time he is with me, I'm going to make the most of it.
Right.
And I make these videos as educational purposes of autism awareness on YouTube and around the world. So in any given day, I have dozens of people contact me around the world thanking me to show them a bright side of autism, that there could be hope for many parents out there that have recently faced a diagnosis that are devastated.
Yeah, one episode for me that was kind of hard to watch is when you went to the Lego store and it was too much for him, and then he went into an arts and crafts store. Was it Hobby
Hobby Lobby?
Hobby
Oh,
Lobby,
sure,
which I always
yeah.
call Holly Hobby for some reason. But it's not. That's life. I mean, that's what it's like. If there's too many sounds and noises and too many distractions, right? Am I getting this right?
I mean, he gets oversensitized, so he doesn't have the ability to filter out everything that would be going on in the studio. It would be difficult for him to have a one-on-one conversation with you because there's so much more input, sensory overload for the person with autism. So when he went into that Lego store, and that video's on YouTube, he's just oversensitized. And I don't force him into places like that.
No, I know.
I'll say, let's get out of the house, let's check out some different things.
But your
and I just
attitude,
see how it
it's
flows.
your attitude, because I know, with kids, various different kids, you get a diagnosis, and, with me, it's to tell mom, when she starts to cry to see the diagnosis, everything's going to be okay, and I'm going to take care of it right away, instead of just letting her, have the sadness, whatever, and then doing what you can. I mean, I could use some lessons from you. So thanks.
And then you brought to the studio this great, I don't know if people can see it on our webcam, but this awesome picture that Chase drew. Tell us about this.
Well, I brought that in for you and Bruce as an example of something that he just did a few weeks ago, where he will pause his computer screen and he'll grab some crayons and pencils, and he does these very rapid, detailed drawings.
That's Woody from Toy Story, right?
Correct, it's Woody from
Yep,
Toy Story.
see?
So that's
I
a
knew.
pause scene. So he can take a
And
cartoon
there's
pause
that,
scene
that
and
sinister character.
yeah. Those are the mutant mutants. Some people with autism have artistic savant abilities. I don't necessarily know if he has savant abilities, but he certainly is leaning that direction. That would be his number one skill that he has at 18 years old. He can draw anything.
That's great. Now, is he still in school or what's?
Yeah, he graduates high school, this
coming
year.
year?
Next year.
And then what's going to happen? Do you know?
It's the great unknown,
Yeah,
it's
I
the
know.
great unknown. He will continue in a public school system and start to get some state aid. He'll be well taken care of. He has nothing but tremendous love and support from his mother, his stepfather, me, his both sets of grandparents. We're all still alive. And his mother's a second grade teacher and very active. And there was a lot of special needs education around him at an early age from my
Right.
mother and his mother, just
Oh, that's great.
coincidentally.
So again, when we want to see these YouTubes or go on Facebook,
Yeah, go on YouTube and search Kimock7, Kimock, the number 7, and then search autism. So Kimock7 Autism. There's 30 episodes that I've produced on there that are just tremendous.
Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing
Thank
your
you for
story. And
having me.
please tell Chase thank you for the picture and Merry Christmas.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas. Happy
Thank you.
Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas.
Before you.
36.
Now faces sexual assault.
37.
Close,
36.
36. Against Charles
30.
Dutoit, who is the artistic director and principal conductor of London's
We're spelled through.
Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Some of the incidents happened here in Chicago according to the allegations as far back as the
THREW.
mid-1980s.
That's the Unilab version.
Two are dead, the result of
Spell.
violence in Chicago. Police
They
say
did a
one
great
man
edit of
was
it, so
shot
they
to
took
death
my
in
10
the
minutes. They made it like 4 or 5 minutes. It's great.
Last night, another man was killed after being shot, and then his vehicle crashing into a tree in the neighborhood.
I-O.
A missing teenager-
So I've all these people always ask me who Anastasio is, so I try to explain to them. And
Reported missing earlier
it's
this
the lead
week
singer of Fish and guitarist of Fish.
on West 151st Street. Illinois will likely lose one seat
Very good.
in Congress.